Hello, Blazers. Welcome to episode 166 of UAB Green and Told, originally released on Monday, December 29th, 2025. This podcast is where we share stories that define UAB. Looking for past episodes? Visit alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold or find us on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. Don't forget to leave a review to help more Blazers tune in. I'm Greg Berry, a UAB alum and Director of Communications in the Office of Alumni Affairs. What happens when salt air meets stage lights and the art of healing? You get a story that sails far beyond the studio. From boarding school halls to ballet jumps that changed her life, Lisa Altamirano's journey is stitched with resilience and reinvention. And as we'll learn, her path to physical therapy didn't begin with textbooks. It began midair with a leap that landed her in a new calling.
I was in a ballet point class doing variations. It was supposed to be a junior senior class, and I'm a freshman. And at that last jump that I did, I tore my ACL.
Lisa carved out a space where dancers could be seen as the athletes they truly are. You can't measure point shoes by cleats. She knows the difference, and it's more than surface deep.
Is a dancer stronger than a football player, or all these little tests? And it's really kind of funny to me. Like those two are getting compared all the time.
But working with dancers isn't just about knowledge. As we'll discover, it's all about instinct. Lisa's eye for the smallest shifts, the ones that others miss, is what sets her apart.
With a dancer, they're very in tune with their body. So it can be something very minute, and you have to be able to see it and know what the movement is to be able to change it.
Lisa Altamirano's early years in Pensacola were filled with movement, sailing, swimming, and dancing as if the waves were her audience. By 8th grade, her world shifted from coastal rhythms to classical rigor. Her turning point came during a point class when a torn ACL sparked a purpose. But before we get there, we need to know more about Lisa. In a Pensacola studio, she was guided by a teacher who encouraged her exploration beyond choreography.
It was an instructor in Pensacola who just was super mega creative and involved us in the creative aspect. And in like costumes, we got inspiration from a painting and created a piece. So she just was like super creative and let us, develop that piece as well as her develop it. So it was kind of fun.
When somebody gets into dance, what is the end goal? Are you doing it just for fun? Because here you are, you're at boarding school for it. So what was going through your mind of what you wanted to do after you graduated?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going that intensive at School of Fine Arts, you're thinking you want to be professional or do something with it. So yeah, I was going that route, and I was very professional because actually at the time I was Alabama Ballet, which was State of Alabama Ballet then. So I was actually a professional dancer at 8th grade. And so was a lot of us. So they used the school as the company members, kind of more the core, and we did have principals in there as well. So we were traveling and we went to Hawaii and, so it was a very different lifestyle.
That's incredible. And in the end, you wound up going to NYU to
Correct.
pursue a dance degree and Bachelor of Fine Arts. Obviously, still at that point, the ambitions, the idea was grandiose. You still wanted to do ballet or dance professional, I'm assuming.
Sort of.
Okay. Tell me more.
I thought I loved math and science. So my dad's a doctor. And my mom's an artist. So I have both sides. And so I actually was like, I think I want to go do computer sciences, go to MIT, that kind of stuff. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I still love dance. But really, actually, my mom just kind of said, you know what, go to college, get a scholarship if you can, and keep dancing because that's the way you can get there and where you want to go. And so just go that route until you figure out what you want to do.
So what changed? When did you figure out what you wanted to do? Because ultimately you would come back to the South and you'd end up at UAB as a part of the PT program.
Right. So I actually was a patient of Dr. Garth at UAB Sports Medicine in high school. So they gave me great opportunities. And then, I actually went to SUNY Purchase, which is another dance conservatory in New York. And I was waiting for scholarships to NYU. So I was there for a freshman year and then transferred to NYU. And met the best people in the world and They're the best of the best in the world teachers. And I love New York. I went there at 9 years old with my mom, and I told her, I was like, I'm going to come back here. And I did. So anyway, I just went to NYU, got 3 scholarships to keep me in there. And then I graduated, and then I freelanced in dance. So I thought, okay, I am good. I guess everyone says I am. And so I freelanced there for a couple years, doing pickup companies. I was a waitress and, just trying to figure out life, having a great time. And so that's kind of how that took me into New York. And I did stay, and I was, a professionally danced. But so then that kind of, I was walking home, literally, I was walking home at 2 a.m. for my waitressing job, going, okay, I don't want to do this forever. What do I want to do? I'm burnt out. It's a hard job. It's a hard life. And so I just said, I'm going to PT school because I love medicine. I thought I'd go to med school, but then I really just said, I really kind of think I like this PT thing because you can spend a lot of time with your patients. And being a dancer, I'd had enough PT already. So.
And I was going to ask about that. What kind of injuries did you have as a dancer that you had to go through physical therapy to kind of get you better and back out dancing?
Yeah, I probably the most inspirational moment is my freshman year of college. I was in a ballet point class doing variations, and I had already done them all. So my instructor was like, and it was supposed to be a junior senior class, and I'm a freshman. And so they put me up there because I could do it. And then the instructor said, Lisa, why don't you demonstrate all the Ramona variations? And boy, that's a great place as a freshman to make friends of juniors and seniors. So anyway, I demonstrated them all, and she was like, this is how you do it. And at that last jump that I did, I tore my ACL. But I didn't tear it completely in half. And these were the days there are no MRIs. So I went to the best knee hospital in New York, and they were like, I think you tore your ACL. I was like, what do you mean you think I tore my ACL? So then I went to the best dance PT in New York, which is Marika Molnar. And she diagnosed me in 2 seconds and said, you have no hamstring, you're weak, you tore your ACL. And I was like, well, how do you know this? So anyway, I went home, I had surgery. Long story short, dancers, we can't sit around. So I had my surgery. It was just 30% torn. And my doctor said, okay, you're done. And I was like, no, I have to be dancing like in 3 weeks. So what am I supposed to do? And he literally said, you can do 100 leg lifts. And I was like, I can do that for you right now. So that doesn't mean I can dance. So I went to Tulane University because my uncle ran track.
Okay.
And he hooked me up with this football strength coach. And that football coach worked me out like a football player. And I actually went back to dance class that afternoon, and I could do half of my dance class. I went back one more time and I could do a full dance class. I'm like, okay, somebody's missing something here. So that was my spark for physical therapy, was to see, like, people don't understand what I'm doing, and B, why wasn't I sent to physical therapy to begin with? So that kind of was my spark.
So you have connections at this point to Tulane, as you just mentioned, as well as New York, going to school there. Ultimately, why UAB?
Yeah, I loved UAB. I actually worked, basically I was a patient of Dr. Garst at UAB with my dance, and then Drew Ferguson kind of took me under his wing. And so I hung around with Drew, great mentor. And before PT school, I had to go back to school because at NYU, I didn't get my prereqs for PT school. So I worked with them in the office for 5 years, doing front office work, doing all the athletic training stuff you can do. I watched every area of every area. I watched Dr. Garth treat people. I watched x-rays. So I met the whole UAB community. I met the MRI people, trauma people, orthopedics, through those 5 years. And all that, we treated all the UAB athletes. So, so I just got to learn the whole entire community. And it's such a wonderful, caring university, and everyone is really in to help everyone out, whether you're a patient or you're an employee. It's just a great experience. So I automatically went to PT school. I didn't get in the first time. I got in my third time, actually. And, Drew said, "We have a job here waiting for you, Lisa." And when I got out, I zoomed back in, and Dr. Garth, open arms said, I came to him and I said, "Can I start a dance medicine program with you? I want to give back to the School of Fine Arts for, all my injuries and keep dancers healthy." And he said, "Absolutely." And he supported me 100%. So I created that relationship with the School of Fine Arts and Dr. Garth at UAB Sports Medicine. So talking about community, I mean, they held me up through many, many years.
There is a drastic difference, I'm assuming. You have the traditional sports, football, basketball, track. They have different injuries and rehab than dance. How different are those two spectrums?
Very different. Our vocabulary as a dancer, no one knows it unless you do it. Our vocabulary is completely different. Most people don't realize, the dancers, when we're on stage, we're supposed to look, beautiful and effortless, that kind of stuff. So I don't really realize the hours that go into it and the effort. And we don't just train, not that football players or anybody, because they train their whole body, but at every instant of a moment, we have to know where our body is in space as a dancer. So I think that's the ultimate, I don't know, research that they love to do. Is a dancer stronger than a football player, or all these little tests? And it's really kind of funny to me. Like those two are getting compared all the time.
When it comes to PT in the dance world, is there a lot of DPTs working in that field? Or
No,
were there at that? There wasn't.
no.
You kind of found a niche ultimately through agile physical
Correct.
therapy. When did that come about? When did you start brainstorming and saying, you know what, I think this is going to be a great venue to cater to specific needs of specific athletes?
Yeah, so I started it with Dr. Garth. So, 99.
Okay.
He gave me that opportunity, and then I worked for him I worked at UAB Sports Medicine for 10 years. And then, I just had an opportunity. I also treat, I had students from UAB and that sort of thing. So I'm a clinical instructor as well. And I just love teaching. And to be honest with you, I didn't really think, oh, I'm going to open Agile. A student actually was talking to me and she said, "Would you ever think about opening your own place?" And it's like, yeah, but, I kind of like what I'm doing. I like UAB. It's great, great. I love athletes. I love all the older people we see. I had a great community. So anyway, that's the moral of the story. She sparked me. We started it. She fell in love with some guy from Michigan. And I just said, you know what? I'm already rolling with this. I'm going to go open it. And it was dance, my niche, that gave me something of how I would survive. Because I opened in 2008 when it was very hard to open a clinic, especially a female on her own, doing it all by myself. And that's another grace that I have about UAB and Dr. Garth is I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was relying on people who knew how I treated to send me patients. Dancers I knew would come find me because I'm the only one in the Southeast. And so then they were really sweet. Every patient that ever asked where I was, they sent them to me. And that doesn't necessarily happen everywhere.
How has the practice grown, and who all, what different states have you worked with? Because you said you kind of got the niche in the Southeast.
Yeah, yeah. So, we've grown. We have 5 clinicians. Now I'm a little smaller. COVID changed things a little bit. So I have 3 clinicians now. But, I grew to a 10-person office with Pilates in here. And it's interesting to me who will drive here. I've had people all over the Gulf Coast come up, people from Georgia, Mississippi. So, kind of all of our surrounding areas, Tennessee, also cover Broadway that comes to Birmingham. So I've been doing that, since I started. So yeah, just a kind of a Southeast broad range, but I also have dancers that I trained or helped treat from Alabama School of Fine Arts who've gone up to New York. So when they come home, they come in and like, "I need to see you, Lisa. I wish you were in New York." So that's fun.
You mentioned that you tore an ACL, and that's kind of what led you ultimately down the path of PT. What's the most common injuries you see now of patients?
Yeah, so mainly feet injuries, hip injuries, kind of snapping hip, definitely knee injuries for your adolescent patients. So, if you've watched dance, you know they do a lot of stuff with their feet and a lot of jumping and a lot of hip rotation stuff that most people don't do. So
So how do you stay on top of things? Because I'm sure that the PT things that you do administer to a patient change and evolve over time. Because I mean, you've been doing this at Agile for 17 plus years, almost 2 decades. So how do you stay on top of things?
I definitely am a very creative person and I get bored doing the same exercises. So every person and every patient, whether it's a dancer or not, is a puzzle to me. And you have to look at what's going on with them. And so with a dancer, it can be, they're very in tune with their body. So it can be something very minute and you have to be able to see it and know what the movement is to be able to change it. And so to get them inside of their body to give cues. So that's really how I adapt. It's really kind of what the feedback is from the patient, or I don't see the movement coming along like I'd like to, then I have to kind of change what I do and create a different image or say some different words or try a different exercise. So yeah, it's really kind of a very one-on-one, moment by moment treatment session.
Did you ever think that the girl that went to ASFA would be in the position you are now?
No.
What would that little girl
No.
say?
That little girl, you're gonna make me cry. That little girl would say, wow, okay, you're pretty phenomenal knowing what you went through in life. To stick to what you love and be passionate about what you do and want to help people so much and hang in there for them.
That's Lisa Altamirano, a 1998 graduate of the School of Health Professions, where she earned her Master of Science in Physical Therapy. Today, she runs a PT practice serving dancers from across the Southeast and beyond. Fueled by fire and forged by purpose, Lisa definitely knows what it means to be a blazer.
You know, to me, to be a blazer is excellence. Striving for excellence, really lifting up and being there for the community and being part of community, and also teamwork. I feel like UAB always hangs together. We're tight, you know, we're there for each other, we're there for the university, we're there for our patients, the people that work with us. It's really just a tight-knit community, and to be a blazer, I think you have to have team spirit and teamwork.
Thanks for spending time with us on UAB Green and Told. To hear more stories from the UAB community, visit alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold or find us on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. Got a guest suggestion? We'd love to hear it. Email us at greenandtold@uab.edu. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more alumni stories and updates. Thanks for listening, and as always, go Blazers.